Hey Internet, it's Aaron, your personal driver, and doing another live stream for you new drivers. How's it going? Hope everything is going swell. So today we're going to talk about how do you know if I'm making money or not. I'm going to give you a couple of easy ways to do some accounting here so you will know for a fact 100% that you are making money. Sleeping Elephant says, hi, what's up, Sleeping Elephant? Your driver Mike says, what's up? What's up, your driver Mike? Hey, I just saw that you gave a giveaway. Did I win? I don't know if I won or not. I was too busy setting this up, but I'm going to watch your video as soon as I'm done with my live stream so I know if I won my camera or not. All right, anyway, guys, so basically we're going to do a couple of things today. First, I'm going to explain to you basic accounting so you know that your business is making money or not. The second thing I'm going to go over is costs associated with your account. The third I'm going to go over is a couple of different helpful websites for you to figure out how much it costs to maintain your car. And then fourth thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a live presentation via a website to figure out what your per cost is every mile you drive. And at the end of that, we're going to put all those four things together and figure out whether or not your business is profitable, okay? Also, as always, feel free to ask me anything. I'm always into answering questions, all right? With that, roll it. Mystro! What's up? Welcome back, guys. So, I definitely see chat because I am simply Carlos says hi. Rudy Castillo says hi. However, it's not popping up on my chat box here, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'll have to fix that, I guess, a little bit later. But at least you guys can see the live chat. It's just when people watch the review of this, they're not going to be able to see the chat. So Rudy Castillo says hi. Okay, guys, so this is the third installment. The first thing we did was, what do you do when you first download the app? And you don't freak out, just get in your car and drive, basically. And do research. The second video I did is how to get surge, manipulate the surge to make the most money. So today we're going to talk about how you know if you're making money or not, because this is a business, and as with all businesses, if you aren't making money, you shouldn't be doing this, right? There's some markets, some places where you probably are losing money doing Uber. So I'm going to give you very, very, very basic how-to, okay? So this is basically how it works in the business. Not you're making money, you have to keep track of how much money you're making, which is easy because Uber and Lyft both tell you that, so you don't have to like hide how much money you're making. I also suggest keeping note of how much cash you make, cash tips, because cash is obviously income too. And I know a lot of people don't like to record their tips because of tax purposes. But you should be reporting all your income to the IRS. You don't want to get in trouble for that. But you know, do you. It's your business. You do you. I record how many tips I make in cash because I want to know how my business is running. So make sure you do that. I am simply Carlos says okay. So that's fine. Do your cash however you want to, but you need to keep track of how much money you're bringing in. And then you need to know how much money is going out, okay? And there are a lot of ways to lose money doing rideshare. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is general costs here. These are things that cost you money. all things that cost your business money. Obviously, the big one being gas and oil change and maintenance on your car and stuff like that, right? Not working. Can't hear none. Can anyone else hear me? No one can hear me? Can someone write if they can hear me or not? That's disturbing. I'm a little worried about that. Dead in the water. Oh, I know what it is. When I'm doing the transition, you can't hear. Oh. There's no audio input on my slides. That's frustrating. Sorry, guys. So, I guess I could fix that. I can. No. So, the way YouTube Live works is when you see my face, like right now, hey guys, woo, what's going on? You can hear me. But then when I put this on the screen, whee! You can't hear me. So, oopsie doopsie, oopsie daisy. So, hold on real quick. Let me mess with this a little bit. Audio input capture. Let's do that. Let's add that in there so you can hear me. Okay, there's my microphone. Let's do that. That'll definitely help. And then I'll add it on here too, guys. Sorry about that. I tried to do all this before the stream, but I'm learning as I go. Everything's new. I can hear you. Can't hear you when the graphics are up. Yes, Gen C. I just learned that. So let me fix that real quick. Click a couple of buttons. Hopefully that'll work. Sorry about that. You got to work out the kinks in this kind of stuff. So let's see if this works. Here's some not so general or well-known costs. And I'm going to put it up here just to see if you can hear me. So, can you hear me out in YouTube land? Woo woo, what's going on, guys? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, well, I'm going to see if you guys can hear me that. So, and I'll continue with this show. If you can hear me, you can't hear me. Hopefully you can. Hopefully you can. So hopefully, did you guys hear me when the screen was up? I'll just assume that you can. So now I'm going to transition to some unknown costs in your business that you may not know are costing you money. Yep, awesome. Okay, I'm glad I fixed it. So the first is depreciation. Okay, that means the value you're losing in your car because your car is actually an asset. It's a depreciating asset, and you can sell your car, so that's worth money. Insurance, you got to be insured, especially if you get rideshare insurance, which some companies like State Farm and USAA are really good about. My USAA rideshare insurance is only $10 a month, but that's still a cost, an additional cost to my business. Your phone, especially if you have to give it an upgrade because your phone can't run stuff. Internet, that's at home and on your phone. Yes, says Jen. Yes, says I am simply Carla. Woot woot. Traffic tickets. That's right, especially if you get pulled over because you're trying to rush in to get some prime time downtown and your ass drove by a cop super fast and you got a ticket. That's an expense that your business cost you. If you are doing Uber Eats and you park illegally to run inside and get some food, you come back, you got a parking ticket. That's a cost to your business. Clothes. You can't be naked doing an Uber. If you guys didn't hear, about 3 months ago, there was a dude got arrested for being naked in his Uber. So we have to wear clothes. Business cards, and this has more to do with your taxes at the end of the year, but a portion of your rent and mortgage is considered a cost for your business because this is an internet business, it's a technology business. You need that home to do accounting and correspondence with Uber and such via the internet. So you have to have a space in your house or in your apartment to do that. So like this little setup here is my little office area. This is considered an expense for my business, both for my YouTube business and for my Uber business. And so at the end of the year at the tax, you can write that off. So those are some unknown costs to doing your business, okay? In general, you kind of have a feeling of all these things anyways. Like this isn't gonna shock you. Teddy Pierce says, I just read an article today on forming an LLC to protect yourself as an independent contractor. Yes, talk to a tax dude. I love tax guys, tax gals. They're amazing. They work wonders. Dark Road Run says, hello, world. What's up, Dark Road Run? So yes, you can set up an LLC. It'll protect you. What that means is, okay, so I'm an Uber driver, and let's say I do something stupid like I run into somebody, or I damage property, like I come up on the sidewalk and I hit a building. Whatever the thing is that I do that's stupid, and I am financially responsible for that damage. If I don't have an LLC, they can come after my personal assets that aren't related to the business. So my house, my bank account, stocks, whatever it is that you have that is valuable. If you owe somebody money because of your business, you have to pay that out of your personal assets. Now, if you have an LLC, that is a protection for your company, so they can only take the company's assets. You don't have very many company assets as an Uber driver. Just remember that. They can take your car or whatever. So now that you have some costs, you have to figure out, well, how do I keep track of that kind of stuff? There are lots of ways to do it. If you've seen some of my previous videos, like SherpaShare, they have a costs log on there. You can log in and do that. MileIQ is another app that does that. Then there's also, I can't think of the name of it, but there's a couple different mileage apps that log that kind of stuff for you, and you can add expenses. QuickBooks, Quicken, I think, I forget what it's called now. It used to be Quicken, I think, and now it's QuickBooks. They have an app and they have a computer program that can also do your taxes, but it keeps track of your expenses as well. So those are all the different ways you can keep expenses. And that's important because you need to know if you're making money or not. Now, I have a video where I already talked about this in detail. You can go check it out. I'll post it down here if this is a replay and you're not watching live, about how you calculate your costs and your profit doing rideshare. Dark Road Run says, very true about importance of separating business assets from personal. Yes. Also, Stride. Yes, that's the one I was thinking about. Thank you, Al. That's right. Stride is the other app. It seems to be the popular one online. I don't use it because I paid for MileIQ this year, but next year I'll try it. Ken, should I talk to my customers after I say hello? I have 35 rides so far, and many of them I haven't said more than 6 words to total my passengers. Teddy Pierce says, entrepreneur.com article. So he's linking a thing there if you want to read about it. That's a good information, Teddy. So Ken, in my personal opinion, you say, hi, how you doing? Are you Jane? I'm Aaron. Is your destination 14th Street downtown? Then you don't say anything. You don't say a word until the customer wants to ask you something. I would say in my market anyway, it's different for everybody. I know down south, everyone likes to talk. Like you get in a taxi in the south and they talk your head off. But here, customers just like to get on their phone. They like to browse on the internet. They like to do like whatever, talk to each other, but they don't want to be interrupted. They consider it to be rude. Trust me, you will know right away if a customer wants to talk to you because they will make it very, very obvious. They'll be like, blah, 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 blah. So don't worry about it. Having fun gets you tips. That's true. Having fun does get you tips. One more thing, Ken. Did you get a bonus when you signed up for Uber or Lyft? If not, hit me up offline on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and I'll make sure you get your bonus, as long as it hasn't been 14 days. So make sure you get your bonus for signing up. I digress. So back to what we were saying. So I have a previous video series on how you calculate profits, and that's pretty easy. Ooh, sorry, I was lagging there for a second. You need to know what your per mile cost is in your market, okay? The easiest way to find out how much you're getting paid per mile is, well, Uber tells you now, but before Uber told you, and if you're doing Lyft, is to use the customer app. So the app that customers use to pick up an Uber or a Lyft. And on the icon, one of the options will be, it's usually like a little circle with an I in the middle. And if you click on that, it'll pop up and it'll tell you your per mile rate. So you get paid per minute and per mile doing this business, okay? You need to subtract, Teddy Pierce says, I disagree with you on this one point. Lyft riders expect that you are sociable, especially if you are a male. You need to show them you're not a weirdo. Hey man, you do you in your market, man. Hey, so I got 99 bucks in 32 hours in-app tips on Lyft. So I love Lyft and I kill it, man. So you got to do you. Sometimes you talk too much, you upset people. And I will say Lyft customers are a little bit different than Uber customers. So you might be onto something there, Teddy. But, you know, hey, it's your business. You run it the way you want to. And that's just from my experience what I learned from it. Okay, so you take the per minute and then per mile income that you're taking in. You add that up. You subtract 25% of that because that goes to Uber or Lyft. And you subtract 25% of that because that goes to the IRS. So remember, when you're driving and you, like, let's just make it a flat fee of $1 a mile to do easy math. If you're driving at $1 a mile, 50 cents of that is not in your pocket. 50 cents of that goes to two other entities, right? They go to the IRS and they go to Uber or Lyft. Okay, so that means if you're driving 1 mile and you've made $1, you actually only get 50 cents of that money in your pocket before your expenses. So the secret to this business is to find out how much it costs you to drive 1 mile. And that's going to be different for everybody. I can't tell you. Cal Uber, if I say hi and they don't reply, I don't talk again. No, that's how I feel about it, Cal Uber. That's a good point. Maybe I guess next week I'll do customer relationships and like customer service tips, since that seems to be a big topic of talking. So next Wednesday at 3 p.m. I'll do that. Loose lips sink ships as well as your ratings, Uber riders. That's funny, Sleeping Elephant. Anyway, so you got $1, 25 cents goes to Uber, 25% goes to IRS. You got 50 cents now for driving that mile. You have to figure out how much it costed you to drive 1 mile. And I can't tell you that. You have to figure that out for yourself. Every car is different. Gas prices are different everywhere. If it's a new car, it depreciates faster than if it's an old car. I don't know if you have a loan, if it's paid off or not. If the car is paid off, it makes a big difference because you're not paying any kind of interest, right? So to do that, let's go do some, where is the monitor here? Let's go to my other monitor. And so I can show you some websites that are going to help you. Okay, guys? Okay, so let's pop up the internet here, guys. I'll pull the microphone over to me too so you can still hear me as I'm talking, because that would be annoying to not hear me anymore. So this website is artofbeingcheap.com/calculator. This is a good website for how to make money. Let's stay on topic. You're doing a good job. Okay. Thanks, Teddy. I appreciate that. This is a car cost mileage calculator. Now, there are 1.5 million different websites that'll do this for you. I chose this one just because it's simple. So if you're new to Uber and new to Lyft and you're not used to calculating profits, this is a good website, a good introduction. So current miles. I'm going to do a fictional car because I don't know what my car is at right now. So let's do 20,000, right? I'm at 20,000 miles. Estimated miles cars will have when you sell it. You always want to sell your car before 200,000. It's a big drop in price. So let's put 190,000. That's my tip to you, especially for you Prius drivers. Drive your Prius to 190,000 and sell it. Miles driven per year. Depends if you're part-time or full-time. Oh, hold on. Let me put it back to the camera because this is an important point here. Guys, when you're calculating how many miles you drive, it's not just with the customer. It's from the time you turn your car on to the time you turn your car off. So if you drive 10 miles into downtown, that 10 miles is a business cost. Make sure you calculate that 10 miles. When you get a ping to pick up a customer and it's 2 miles away, that ride has to include that 2 miles. So if it's a 10-mile ride with a customer in your car, it's a total of 12 miles. Does that make sense? You're not just calculating miles with customers in the car. You're calculating total miles from the time your shift starts until the time your shift ends. If you drive 12 hours that day, every single mile you've driven during that 12 miles is a cost that you have to consider when calculating if you're making money or not. Unless, like, in the middle of it, you take it off and you go home and, like, play with your kids or something. But if you're working and you are driving, that costs you money. That's why when people get in their car and they like drive up and down the strip 100 times to get a ride, they're losing money because that's still depreciation and that's still gas and that still costs them money to drive that. So why would you go up and down the strip and drive 25 extra miles when you're not going to get 25 extra miles in income? It's dumb. So don't do that. Remember, it's not just customers with or miles with customers in the car. The cost to drive your car is all the time that you're working. From the time the key goes in to the time the key gets out. Dark Road Run says Mile IQ is good for that. Yes, that's correct. But I forgot to say that, and I wanted to really mention that because a lot of new drivers, what they'll do is they're like, oh, nothing's going on here. I'll drive over here. Oh, nothing's going over here. I'll drive. And they ping pong all over the city and they get one ride and they lose money doing that. So don't drive unless you, like, think of it this way. Every time you drive a money, people take out money out of their pocket and they just throw it out the window. It's like setting money on fire. So don't drive unless you absolutely have to. It's a business. It's not fun. Okay, let me get back to the other screen here and we'll get back to what we were doing. Sorry about that. So here we are on the Art of Being Cheap. You calculate your current miles, when you're going to sell your car, how many miles you drive a year. If you're full-time, it's going to be close to 30,000. If you're part-time, it'll be around 15,000. If you're using your car for business and for personal use, then it's probably safer to do 30,000 because you're mixing up your business and your personal driving, but it still costs your car money. So let's do 25 to kind of split it down the middle. But that's going to depend on you guys. I can't tell you how many miles you drive a year. You're going to have to figure out that either with an app or pen and paper. Life of new tires in miles. So a lot of cars are 50,000, but let's say we're going to lower that a little bit to what, like 42,000, because we're driving in the city, guys. This is not easy miles. These are hard miles you're putting on your tires because you're in the city driving around. So the price of gas in Seattle is more expensive than the rest of the country. It's $2.95 miles per gallon. That's going to depend on your car. Check this out, guys. I drive an electric car, so watch this. Boom, 0. That's how many miles per gallon my car costs. But I would say, 25 is good. 25 is a pretty standard full-size sedan. So let's do that. Joseph says, Stride Drive is far better. All you do is turn it on and turn it off, and no one needs a separate drivers. Yeah, everyone loves Stride. So there. Cost of new tires, I'll keep it at $400. That's going to vary state to state, but $100 a tire isn't unfathomable, especially if you get the nicer ones that get you the 50,000. Fair market value of your car, $20,000. Sure, I guess. I don't know what your car costs, guys. So I guess we'll just leave it at 20,000 just because I could put any number in there. If you're driving Uber Black, then that's going to be 80,000. If you're driving a Kia, it's going to be 12,000. That depends on you. I'm actually going to lower it. I'm going to say 15,000 because that's pretty much a used car used people in older, like mid-size car. Best estimate of what you will sell trade this car for in the future. So I'll show you how to estimate that. If you look up here on my tab, True Cost to Own by Edmunds. We're going to go through this with you guys later in this presentation, and that will tell you how much your car is going to be worth and that kind of stuff. So best guess of what the car is in the future. So if your car is currently worth 15,000, you're going to sell it at where is it, 190,000. I would think you get a little bit more than 2,000 out of it, but let's just keep it at that, just because I don't know what your car is worth and I don't know what you're going to sell it at. Sales tax rate, that's high for Washington. Here in Washington, I'll put that back down to what it is. Interest rate, so are you financing your car? If you are considering buying a new car, the sales tax you will pay. If you are financing your car, the interest rate you will pay. So this is interest rate. I don't know what the current rates are. I financed my car at 3.5, so we'll use that. I don't know if that's good or not. Annual insurance costs. This will be higher. So you should be, unless you get a really, really good deal, you're going to be paying about $100 a month doing RIDESHARE. So I would consider that. Annual property tax. So I don't have any property tax on cars in here in Washington. That might be different for your state. You have to figure that out. So cost to drive per mile. 22 cents. Every mile you drive in this imaginary car is going to cost you 22 cents. Fixed ownership. This is how much it costs your car regardless of how many miles you drive. In accounting terms, this would be called a fixed cost. So that's just it's a finance term. So that's what you call that. In addition to the 22 cents, that's how much it costs just to have a car, like taxes, driver's license, those sorts of things. Those kind of sunken costs that it costs to have a car is about 6 cents extra a mile. So the total cost to operate your car every time you drive 1 mile in this scenario is 27 cents. And this estimator says the annual cost of the car is going to be just under $7,000. Okay, so let me switch back here. And okay, Jen said, this is super helpful. Thanks. You're welcome. I am Simply Carlos said, this is awesome. Oh, you're lucky. Hey, well, sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't. What can I say? What can I say? So anyway, this website tells you what it costs to drive 1 mile. Now you know why on online forums, Uber drivers do not drive more than 10 miles to get a customer. The average length of a ride for Uber is 5.5 miles, okay? So if the rider is more than 10 miles away, you will lose money picking up that driver if it's 5 miles or less. Because remember, in this scenario, so not all cars cost this much money. In this scenario, every mile you drive is 27 cents. So 10 miles, it will cost you $3.70, or excuse me, $2.70 to drive. So if you drive more than 10 miles to get a customer and they drive the minimum fare, you'll lose money on that ride. Because before they even get in your car, before they even say hello, and before you even go to your destination, sorry, $2.70 out of your pocket. That's facts, man. I mean, hashtag fact, if you want to say that, hashtag fact. That's not fun. That's reality. So don't drive more than 10 miles, more than 10 minutes to get somebody. You're going to lose money. So remember, you have to consider how much you make in your market. And every market's different. I can't tell you how much you make it. A lot of my Florida friends down there, first off, I'm glad that you guys are okay after the hurricane. That was pretty shitty. But second on that, they're going to be devastated. They get 60 cents a mile. So think about that. They drive 60 cents a mile. 50% of that is going to go to Uber and taxes. Now they're making 30 cents a mile. It costs 27 cents to drive 1 mile. If you're in Florida and you drive a car like that, and now you can cut costs, right? If you have a Prius, it won't be as expensive as that. But if you're in Florida right now and you're driving and it's not a surge, you're making 3 cents every mile. You have to drive 100 miles with passengers in your car to make, wait, did I say that right? 300. You have to, no, 100? I can't do math. You have to drive around like a lot of miles to make $100. That's not worth it. So how do you cut costs? That's the name of the game, right? So here's some quick tips to cut costs. The first thing you can do is do like a Safeway rewards program, right? That is like where, like, if you shop at Safeway and use the rewards card, you can use the Safeway gas, and the gas is cheaper, right? Because the less expensive gas is, the less expensive your total cost of your car is. So that's important. So you can also join Costco, save some household stuff, especially if you got kids. If you're single, you probably don't want Costco, but Costco gas is generally cheaper than everybody else. Some credit cards offer gas points. So I know some drivers, what's up? Hey, my wife is home. Everyone say, hey, Dorothy. You want to say hi? Want the baby to make an appearance?
Oh, sure.
He just woke up. He's a very sad baby.
He's a very sad baby. He was crying.
Say, hey, Nate. My wife's home. Hey, say hi. Nate's like, who is that on the screen? It's me.
Show him his socks.
Oh, he's got cute little baby socks.
His cute little baby warmers.
All right, bye, baby.
Okay. Wait, are you saying bye baby to him or me?
Both of you. Bye, babies.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, some people I know use gas rewards credit cards on Uber. And the reason they do that is they get it on both ends. So they swipe the credit card to pay the gas. And here's the thing, you have to pay the credit card off. If you just swipe the gas and finance it, you're going to lose money in this scheme. So don't do that. But you're paying for the gas anyway. So pay for it on a credit card that gives you gas points. And then you can continually save money on gas. Dark Road Run says hi to Dorothy. She'll say hi to you too. Dark Road Run says, yo, Nate. Yeah, well, he's a cutie. But here's the problem with that. Some people out there are lazy, and they'll swipe that gas card, and they won't pay the gas card off. And, some bad ideas right there. Then you're financing your gas over time with interest. That's never a good idea. The other thing you can do is drive a car that doesn't cost as much. That's why when I did my video on I Am Simply Carla says, what was the name of that website again? I'll just put it up so you can see it. Give me a second here. The name of it is Art. So it starts with the word art. Artofbeingcheap.com/calculator. I'll put it in the... I'll put it in the chat too. Teddy says, you never know which ride will be $50 or $100. Better odds than the casino, too. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, if you live in the suburbs, yeah, maybe. Maybe that's better odds. If you live in a city, like in Seattle, if I drive more than 5 miles any direction, I'm really excited because that doesn't ever happen. In the city, like the city's not that big. From one end to the other, it's 10 miles. So if you start on the ocean and you drive all the way across Seattle to the lake, it's 10 miles. You're welcome, Carla. She says thank you. So, I mean, maybe if you're in the suburbs, you can go that far. But, yeah, I mean, that's not how it works in Seattle. And San Francisco is smaller than Seattle. So, Chicago, I guess you could go into the suburbs in Chicago from Chicago. But New York, you think you're going to go more than 10 miles in New York? No. So, yeah, Teddy, I guess it depends on where you go. But, you know. Also, you know now on Uber how far, if it's going to be a long ride, because it'll say long trip. That's an option now. So yeah, if it says long trip, go more than 10 miles because you're going to go on a long trip. So anyway, reducing costs. So the other thing you can do is, like I was talking about my other video I did, the top 5 cars for Uber. Those are the most, those are the best MPG cars at the lowest price. That's how I calculated those 5 cars. Like the Hyundai Ioniq is the least expensive, what do they call it? Hybrid car. So it's the least expensive to buy, and it has the most MPG. The Ioniq gets more than a Prius does right now. Like 60, I think, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll say 66 miles a gallon. So that's more than the Prius does. That's why I said it was better than a Prius, right? Like the minivan I picked on that video, the Chrysler, that gets 80 miles to the gallon. So that's why. South Beach, Miami, baby. Yeah, see, Florida sucked because you're right. You could get somebody in Miami and then drive to Georgia. You know what I mean? Like Universal Studios to like Tennessee. Like that's a thing that happens down there in Florida. So I understand that feeling. And you're going pretty far distances a lot of time. But how much would it suck to drive 10 miles and then take somebody from one club to the other one in South Beach? I mean, that happens too, dude. You drive 15 miles to go pick up some hot chicks and they're going 4 blocks to go to a different club. And that's if you want to roll the dice on that, it's on you, bro. Go ahead. Dark Road Run says, I love Hyundai. I always say Hyundai. I think it's just Hyundai. But I say Hyundai because there's a Y there. And I don't know. I digress from that. So those are ways you can reduce costs. Teddy Pierce says true. Yeah. So as you reduce cost, the most expensive thing you have is gas. So get the cheapest gas you can. The other thing you can do is increase income someplace else. So this is why I started my channel. This is one of the first videos I did. If you go to my YouTube channel, I have a how to make money doing Uber 3-part series, and this is where I talk about it. When I have a video and it says how to make the most tips, this is what I'm talking about. Tips is the best way for profitability because 1, Uber doesn't take anything. 2, the IRS doesn't take anything unless you report it. Now, I report my tips. I got a tax guy who does his thing. I give him all the numbers. He does all the crunching, and he figures all that stuff out. But I used to be a bartender. I used to be a server. I know people don't report their cash tips. Jen says, love my Hyundai too. Yeah, Hyundai is a good rideshare car. It's cheap to buy. It keeps value, and it's pretty good on gas. So in that video series, I went out for 4 hours from 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. or 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And it was a really bad night, and I made like $25 in fares. For whatever reason, on that night, no one was at the bars. I just got bad luck. My rides weren't very good. But I made $25 in cash. So I doubled my income from that. Those tips save money. And you can make money doing this. You can make tips, especially if you do Lyft. I mean, you've seen my other videos. My all-time record is $99 in 36 hours. Okay. I was like, that's cash. So, okay, let me back up so you understand what I'm saying. Every dollar you make driving, half of that money is already gone. 25 goes to Uber, 25 goes to the taxes. Every dollar you make in cash, that is 100% yours. So you have to drive 2 miles with a customer in your car to compare to a $1 tip, because that is the one. No one gets that except for you. Ryan Ewing says F-150 baby. You joke. I've seen Hemi engines doing Uber. Yeah. That's a separate video I'm going to do. Not today. But if you buy a new car, you should do Uber on it so you can write off the depreciation. But like not full-time Uber. Like just do Uber like a couple times a month for the year, and then write off the depreciation from your new car. But that's another video about taxes. Okay, so the other thing you do is you switch to a hybrid car and get a Prius. That's why Prius is the all-time favorite car of all rideshare drivers, because the Prius is cheap, they're available, they've been around, they're reliable, yada, yada, yada. You can even go electric. Now, before you consider going electric, definitely check out chargepoint.com. It's a list of all the charging stations in the nation. Not every city is going to allow you to have an electric car because there's not going to be infrastructure for it. In Seattle, I drive an electric car. So when I do the calculations on there, it costs me between 10 and 13 cents to drive 1 mile in an electric car. So my profit margin's higher than everybody else's. It's also because I currently have this sweet deal where the electricity to charge is only $10 a month for me. So I don't know if that's available for everybody or not. For a while, BMW and Nissan had a 2-year free electric charge deal. So if you bought like a BMW electric or a Nissan electric, you got 2 years of free charging. And so that's great because then it doesn't cost almost anything to get the car to go. You get free electricity. But check to make sure that your area has enough charging stations to make that even a thing that you would do. Because like if you buy an electric car and there's nowhere to charge it, then if you charge an electric car from an outlet in your garage and not one of the fast chargers, it takes 14 hours to fill up. So that's not very good for Uber. But the charging station in Seattle, it takes half an hour to fill up. Dark Road Run Nodes, if he's still in here, he saw my car. So we hooked it up to an electric station. It took half an hour to charge full. I mean, that's a bathroom break, lunch, and you're back on the road and drive another 120 miles. So those are some ideas to do. But I know you guys are asking. It's a natural question. How do I know what my car is valued, and how do I know how much it's going to cost maintenance-wise if you're shopping around for a car? And before I do this, let me say, never, ever, ever buy a car for Uber. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm doing Uber now. I'm going to buy a car specifically for Uber. That's a bad business decision. Buy a car for you and your lifestyle and then do Uber in it. I always say that. So if you're a single dude and you want to take some ladies out on a date, okay, then buy a car that girls are going to be kind of impressed with. They're going to like it. They're like, oh, okay, I like this. It's a little sporty, maybe it doesn't have as much good, and then do Uber in it. If you're a family guy like me, if I started Uber now, I would buy a van, and not because I want to do Uber XL, although I would, but because I have 2 kids and I have a bunch of their dumb stuff I have to take everywhere, and it's super hard to do. And currently, even in my little mid-size SUV I have a Jeep Cherokee, but it's not big enough. I want a minivan. If I had a minivan, I would get a minivan to do Uber in. You see what I'm saying? So, but with that in mind, you should consider Uber cost-wise, right? Because this is a business. This is a business video. So I'm going to show you what I think is the best resource for finding out what's called a 5-year cost on your car. Okay, so let me switch over to the other screen here, and we'll show you. And as an experiment, I didn't check. I want to see if my car is even on here, because a lot of times electric cars aren't. So Edmunds is like a Kelley Blue Book. It's just a car sales website. So you can check things out. Hold on. Shocking how cheap electric cars are to run. Yes, Dark Road Run. If I didn't have to pay for electricity, it would be less than 10 cents a mile. But I'm paying $10 a month now for fast chargers. Edmunds has a bunch of resources, new cars, used cars, blah, 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 blah. 5 years is generally considered in the industry how long an owner should own a car. So that's why you will hear a lot of times 5-year cost to own or 5-year TCO. Okay, so if you buy a car, depending on what kind of car it is, this is how much it's going to cost you to have it. So you just simply pick it here. Let's see if my car is on here. I bet it's not. Volkswagen. Oh, yeah, the e-Golf isn't on there. I don't think. Maybe it's at the bottom. No. Well. Yeah, so the electric cars are so new they don't really have enough stuff. So let's do, everyone liked Hyundai, so let's do a Hyundai car. How about that? H, right? Oh, I was on it. I couldn't see it because it was already blue. Let's see if they have the Ioniq on here. Nope, they don't have the Ioniq on here. It just came out this year. So let's do Hyundai Elantra sedan, 2007. Oops. Elantra sedan. Can I change the year? Okay, so let's say you bought it, a used one, and let's 2-liter. That's fine. I don't want to mess with it here. I'm just seeing if I can find a cheaper engine, but let's just do that. Oh, if you want to know about how to calculate cost to own, that's on the bottom part of the website about cost to own. But then you hit go, and it'll show you. So so you can see this right here. That's how much it's going to cost in fuel. Now remember, your fuel cost will be higher than the average owner, so it'll actually be more than that. That's how much in repairs you should expect. That's how much in depreciation. That's the big one. How much value is going to go down in your car. How much is going to cost in financing if you finance it. And you can see that obviously will change for you depending on what your finances are. Insurance on this car, taxes, and general maintenance. And then it has a chart breakdown here. So year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and the 4-year total. So when you buy this car, first off, it's going to, obviously this is the same with all cars, the biggest hit is going to be depreciation in the first year. And after that, it stabilizes a little bit more, so it's not too bad long term. And then let's say you want to change some stuff. Like, let's not do a 6-speed automatic. Let's do a 6-speed manual, see what happens. It'll update it, and see, look, it's a little bit less expensive to run a manual than it is an automatic because of maintenance costs. And you can see the prices go down here. And so you can do that with anything. And whether you are buying a car or not. So there you go. Now if you're shopping for a car, or if you want to look at your own car right now, you can do that just to see what the value is on the car going on. So that's how you can figure out how much the maintenance is going to cost on your car. So that's kind of all I have. I'm a little long. I know this is a longer presentation than normal. But like always, at the end, I open it up for questions. Do you guys want me to run some of your cars? Do you want me to do my car? If you're still here, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to hit thumbs up. Leave a comment when this is done. Simon in the house! Back up from the microphone. What's up, guys? What's up, Simon? So yeah, ask me anything you want to. Give me some topics maybe for next time. Tell me what you think about this. Turn the screen off so it's not in the background. That's annoying. But I hope you liked the presentation on how much money you make. So that's you to go. Also, in the description below, at the end of this, when this uploads to YouTube, I'll put a link to that 3-part series I did on making money, so you can get a better idea of how to actually do the math. It's pretty easy. How many miles did you? What's your opinion on XL drivers? So that's harder to talk about. So my feeling on XL is, if you're going to have a car that big, maybe upgrade it, get some leather seats so you can also do select. I mean, just having a van, the difference between X and XL rates aren't that big. So you have 2 options with XL. Nothing much, bro. Another day, another dollar. I hear you there, Simon. You still have the best live streams. Oh, thank you, Dr. Rowan. I appreciate that. So to answer your question, Sleeping Elephant, like, there's 2 ways to go about XL. One is to get an XL vehicle that you can still make money if you do a regular Uber X ride. DVR and recording inside car. That's cool. Dark Road 1, what's up, bro? This is Simon. So there are fuel efficient and hybrid cars that qualify for XL. So get those. So if you only get 1 passenger on Uber X, you can still make money. You don't have to worry about only taking XL. And then when you get an XL, you get an XL. Or you can get a nicer, like just off the top of my head, I know that a Cadillac Escalade, black, with leather and seating can get you on XL in Seattle. I don't know about your market. You have to check your market. It'll also get you on Uber SUV and Uber Black. So that's here in Seattle. Uber, they're not taking Uber Black right now because there's politics involved. But so use your XL either cheaply so that the per mile rate is less and you can still take Uber X, or only take XL Select, SUV, and Black. I hope that answered your question, Teddy. I don't know if I was rambling or not. Dark Road Run says, yo, Simon. So any other questions? Do you guys want to see me do my car? I guess I could try to calculate my own car right now. All right, so next week we'll do customer service tips, and I'll tell you some of the things that I do, including putting video games on. Yep, love it, video games. That's right, including putting video games in the car, how to talk to customers, maintaining your vehicle so it looks professional, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'll answer any questions. They don't have to be about rideshare or anything. I'll tell you how tall I am if I want. Haha, okay, Black and SUV Aaron need TLC or hack licenses. Yeah, I know. That's what. Yeah, go out and get your insurance and your driver's license stuff. Topic: prostitutes. That hat has tons of compliments. Yeah, do that. So prostitutes. Okay. In my opinion, prostitution should be legal. I think it's capitalists, right? We believe in capitalism. I believe in a free market. Sex is a commodity. Sometimes people are willing to pay money for it, and some people are willing to pay for it. I mean, prostitution's has been around for as long as human beings have had money. And I think that if you make it legal, you could do things like regulate it and require testing. You could get a license. Like if you wanted to be a prostitute, you'd have to go get a license, go to the hospital, get screened for sexual diseases, get an AIDS test, get a certificate that says, I am okay to be a prostitute, and then let them be prostitutes. I don't know. I don't care. By the way, Aaron, Black and SUV goes by luxury list that is approved by the taxi limo division. I mean, I'm not on Black or SUV, but I'm just saying, like, if you are going to use XL, why wouldn't you just, if you're going to get a vehicle that expensive, you should get a vehicle that expensive you can maximize your profit on. You can look up a 2014 Chevy Impala LTZ. Okay, I will. Gas, grass, or ass. Nobody rides for free. Capitalism 101. Okay, I will do a 2004 Chevy Impala. Let's see how much it costs to have that car for 5 years. I think my kid's here. Hey, is that you, Johnny? What's up, buddy? Here, I'll put you. You want to be on the internet?
No, I want to play some games.
You want to play some games? I'm in the middle of working right now. Here, come here. Say hi to everybody. Johnny's home.
What's that? YouTubers!
I see you got some gum. How was school, buddy?
Good.
All right, buddy. I'll go downstairs and play games with you after this, okay? Yeah. Close the door on your way out. Bye. I love you, buddy. Family making an appearance this run. Let's go. Close the door, buddy. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to do a 2014 Chevrolet Impala. Oh, is it a sedan or a hybrid? I'm going to guess it's a sedan. It was 2014, you said? 2014. Oh, I got to figure out what kind of engine you have in there, bro. What kind you have? Uber's new slogan, Dark Road Run, says, gas, grass, or ass. Nobody rides for free. LTZ. Is that an option in here? I don't think so. Oh, yeah. No. That's LZ. So I'm going to guess it's not a hybrid engine, right? Are you going to tell me? Yes, Dark Road Run, says Simon. Okay. Well, let's just do 4-cylinder. I'm going to guess that's your engine. I don't know. Ooh, it's a nice car. Okay, well, there you go. Did I pick the right year, by the way? 2014? Yeah. So it's depreciation and fuel that's going to kill you, bro. Look. That's a lot of fuel cost right there. That's almost $9,000 in gas. So, yeah, I mean, in year 4, you're paying $1,800 in gas a year. And that's going to only increase doing Uber. Because if you're doing Uber, you're going to be driving more miles than this. So remember, depreciation and gas cost is going to be higher if you're doing Uber than if you're just doing it regularly. So you're probably going to pay around $250 to $300 a month in this car. But that being said, man, woo, it looks nice. It's a sharp looking car. Okay. All right, guys. So any more questions we got going on? I'll take ideas for whatever you guys want to do. I'll see if I can get this stupid chat box thing to work. That thing. Should be a chat box. It's not working. So I'll see if I can fix that for next week's live session. Hey, if we're still in here, we're doing pretty well. There's a lot of people still watching. So go ahead and hit the thumbs up button for me. And then, subscribe to the channel, obviously, if you haven't. And if you are subscribed, make sure that the dumb YouTube bell icon is clicked so that you'll get notifications when I'm online. Just reminding you guys that every Monday I have a rideshare tip. Every Wednesday I do a live stream, and I do in-car live streams Friday and Saturday night. But I guess I went long. How's Y2 going, or YouTube going? I got an AdSense account, so I'm officially making money now. You can't make money selling commercials until you get a certain amount of money. I think it's $100. So yeah, so I've been doing YouTube for 8 months, and I have now made $100. Woo! You guys, I don't know what I'm going to do with that $100. What am I going to spend that on? Going out with my family one night? A week's worth of gas? Who knows? I'll go wild. But no, I'm getting paid for it now, at least. It can only go up from here, right? All right. So I've been on here a long ass time. It's time to get off, I think. Unless you guys have any more questions. All right, so Friday I'm definitely working. I'll be on and live at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'll drive all the way through Friday night. Thanks, guys. Deuces.